All right, I'm going to go over my outdoor Ethernet and wireless setup. So basically this is an outdoor Ethernet switch. I put a screw right here to keep this thing locked, but basically you would take the screw out and then it would just, you'd pull this down and you would have a 8-port Ethernet switch for connecting end devices. And there's 2 copper uplinks, and there's also an SFP for fiber, or you could put copper SFPs in there as 2, I guess, if you'd like. So I have a security camera running down there, and I also have a security camera running around down here. So I put 2, so far I've put 2 outdoor security cameras. I'm going to add 2 more. And then also what I did, so far I'm only using 4 of the 8 as of the time of this recording on that port for end devices. So you can see I have a wireless access point, as you saw in a previous video. I also pounded in 2 ground stakes, 2 grounding rods. Additional grounding rods is in addition to the main one that I pounded in 6 feet into the ground for actual grounding. So that's more for stability, and I clamped it with a hose clamp. So that's all stable. That's not going to blow down. I've stabilized it since I took the video recording back in July. And we'll walk up here now to the top of the hill. So this is on the opposite side of the lake. There's also a lake over this direction and that direction. So I didn't even want to mess around with getting the regular Wi-Fi to cover the lake over here. What I did is I just put it down. I put it on the lower part of the telescoping pole. So you can see over here. This is a 30-foot flagpole that can be retracted down. So this basically just gives Wi-Fi up here, and then down on the driveway where I just was, and also down at the bottom of the hill, you can pick it up. So it's more for local coverage. And then way up there, that's a Wi-Fi Halo access point. That's an outdoor passive POE. Unfortunately, they do not make active POEs. So hence, if you saw that black box when I was near that Ethernet switch, when I was walking around the corner, there was a black box mounted to the wall. There's a passive POE injector inside that box. Hence, that's why 2 cables are coming outside of the cabin. Because one is just to power that, because it won't power on with my switch. Now these access points are Wi-Fi 6. These do get powered by active POE. Now I will warn you that the Wi-Fi 5 version of these models, which looks a lot different, but the previous generation will need the injector. So I recommend buying the Wi-Fi 6 or later versions which have active POE, which can get powered by an active POE switch. Wi-Fi Halo is just behind as far as nobody's buying it, so they're not really coming out with new and improved technology. But the idea of this is, the idea of putting this way up here was to get it above those trees across the road. At the bottom of the hill, there's a road, and then there's forest. And I thought if I got that 30 feet up in the air, it would get up above those trees. I don't think it's doing that. So I do get some coverage out there in the main lake and out there, which I get with my regular Wi-Fi anyway. But I'm probably gonna need an antenna mast that goes up at least another 20 feet, maybe more. So it's partial lake coverage, it's not full lake coverage, but it does cover some additional spots, what I did not have with regular Wi-Fi. So, and I also tested it indoors as well with an indoor version, not with that particular model, but I tested it out with, so I had an indoor Wi-Fi extender via power line, and then I also had a indoor 900 megahertz Wi-Fi Halo. And what I noticed is I get probably an additional, I would say 300 to 400 feet of range. That's from inside than I do with regular Wi-Fi until it finally cuts out. So the difference in range is definitely noticeable. Now, however, I think it's a little exaggerated when it comes to how far, you know, if you're trying to cover a big farmland or big field, I think regular Wi-Fi is probably going to do you just fine as long as there's no obstacles in the way. But if it's, you know, I would say you want to use Wi-Fi Halo for exactly what they say. You know, it's like security camera or a gate or something that's low bandwidth that you don't want to tie up tie up your 2.4 and 5.8, you know, your higher speed Wi-Fi. You just want to you know, you just want to keep those low bandwidth stuffs, not to take a beacon time, you know, not to take any additional resources basically off of your regular Wi-Fi. So anyway, I hope that helps. And yeah, so I mean, like I said, if I had some smaller trees around, this 30-foot flagpole will probably be fine. I'm gonna have to probably look for 50-foot antenna mast to get a little more coverage around the lake. So hope that helps, and we'll update this as I add some more devices, and that's what I've got so far.